and welcome to Round Robin. I'm your host, Robin McCormick, and I'm with the city's Marketing and Communications Department. And today we're going to talk about programs for new families and very young children. And my guest today is Allison Nelson. Welcome, Allison.
Thank you.
You are the program director for a variety of our programs for families. Is that correct?
Yes, I work in marketing with some of the programs for youth education and family services, and I'm currently the interim manager for the Hampton Teen Center.
Okay, but we're going to start today talking about expectant parents and new parents. What does the city have in terms of programming for them? I mean, what's the reason behind it?
Okay, we're very fortunate here in the city of Hampton to have some wonderful prevention programs available to residents in Hampton. All of our programming is free, and we actually start prenatally. So once you find out that your family is going to be expecting a new addition, you can get involved with Healthy Families Partnership through the Healthy Start program, and we can send an assessment worker out to meet with you and identify whether you could benefit from some of the programs available at Healthy Families. One of the programs we have is called Healthy Start, which is our home visitation program. It is our most intensive program, and it's available to families where we come out and do a weekly visit. And we try to start prenatally where we can, and if not, then at birth. And we will stay with you and your family until your child is 5 years old or enters kindergarten, or as long as if you need us less than that time, perhaps when your children are 3 and you feel like you have all the resources you need and you want to exit the program, you can do that.
So who is eligible for that? I mean, not everyone maybe who's expecting a baby needs that kind of intensive help.
Right. It's not based on any socioeconomic issue. It's basically our assessment worker comes and asks you a series of questions, and we find out if you can benefit from our resources. And they would look at some things such as, do you have a support network locally? Do you have a family medical doctor that you're working with? Do you have a good home situation? You know, do you have a house, apartment, something like that? So they really look at things that are based on the safety of the child. We want to make sure here at Healthy Families, our goal is to ensure that all children are born healthy and enter school ready to learn. So is that child's family life safe? And if so, then perhaps you might not need our services. But if you feel like you're a first-time mom, your mom and dad live somewhere else in the country.
Particularly military, and if the other spouse is deployed. I mean, I think it can be very, very hard when you don't have a parent or a close relative or even a good friend nearby who's been through the parenting thing before.
Exactly. I kind of look at it as we're almost like a big sister to you, that it's someone you can call and say, hey, this is going on with my baby. Is that normal? Everybody always wants to know, is that normal?
Right.
And so we're kind of there to help you identify whether that's normal. And if not, if you feel like there's some issues, we help you find the right resource for you and your family to help you out.
That's great. Okay, so that is one of the most intensive and longer term. What are some of the other things that people could take advantage of?
When you have your baby, if you have your baby at Riverside Regional Medical Center or Mary Immaculate Hospital, you're probably going to get a visit from us. We go out there every day of the week, and we just welcome the new citizens to Hampton. And we provide you with information, what's available in the community, regardless of where you live. And we work in partnership with the City of Newport News, and so we pass off that information back and forth.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, because it's a great partnership.
You really can't have your baby in Hampton anymore.
Exactly, right. Centera doesn't do that. So we do work with them, and so we'll do the welcome baby visit. And for folks that might remember the welcome wagon when you moved into your neighborhood, it's very similar to that we just want to provide you some information. Then we also have infant massage classes. So when your baby is young, you can come to infant massage in our building, and we will teach you how to do infant massage, and you can take that home and practice that with your family. We have play groups for the toddlers. We have parenting classes, and our parenting classes start prenatally. We have what we call Labor in My Baby, or we call it LAM. And
oh, that's cute. Now, I think that's the one. Somebody in my office just took that.
A lot of folks take that, and it helps you not only prepare for childbirth, but it also helps you prepare to bring that baby home and be confident and ready to be a good parent.
It's a scary thing. I remember I just afraid to bathe the baby. You know, they're slippery. It's it's scary.
Right.
You know?
No one. I mean, we always talk about how you're taking 9 months to get ready to have your baby, but the minute you walk out of that hospital, there's no one there.
No, it's very scary.
There's no instruction booklet or anything like that. So we help you do that. And then also participating in like the LAM and the play group, that kind of gives you a social network of other folks that have children similar age. So now you start to form relationships and friendships. So you can pick up the phone and call them and make play dates and things like that. So
that was so important to me. And it wasn't the Hampton program, but I do remember, you know, I was older when I think I had my first kids, and you have things in common with people you work with, but when you have a 3-week-old or a 3-month-old, you want to be around people in that similar stage of development. It is an overwhelming thing, and you need to talk to people. And and a play group at that age isn't really a play group, it's a mom's group. When they get a little older, you know, the kids may actually interact, but for the most part, it's just somebody who's going through what you're going through.
Is this normal? I mean, they're always asking that. My toddler did this. Is this normal? And our play groups are helping our students get ready for kindergarten. You know, they're learning to share. They're learning how to, you know, clean up after themselves, follow directions. Some of those basic things that now you need to be ready to do that when you enter kindergarten. You're not taking the kindergarten year to learn those things.
Oh
you
gosh,
have
no,
to
they
be
have
ready.
SOLs in kindergarten now. It is much less, you know, acclimatizing and getting you ready as it is an academic year. So you have to be a little more ready when those kids walk in the door.
And the last thing we have is Healthy Stages, which is a child development newsletter, and that goes prenatally up through age 18. We have 28 editions, and we mail them out based on the date of the birth of the child, and we mail them a month in advance. And so the earlier years you get more editions because there's so much more going on.
They change so much more rapidly.
And then for school age, we mail them out once a year, that type of thing. And then once they enter kindergarten or preschool, kindergarten, we have the Mayor's Book Club, which I'm sure you're somewhat familiar with.
Yes, I've done that a few times.
So we have that available to work with the early literacy.
So really, what are the goals then of this, of what you do for those young kids and those young families?
We really want to get our children ready for school. We want to make sure that they have a safe and nurturing environment and a home life. And so anything that we can do as a community and as a department, we're willing to do.
So that is healthier babies, which you know, reduces costs associated with health costs.
Correct.
It is also, though, if kids enter school ready to learn, they're going to achieve more.
Exactly.
You don't have to do that remediation, and families that don't break down use less services. So one of the things that I remember reading, it is less costly to do some of the prevention than to treat problems that occur later on.
Correct. I mean, it's really workforce development at such an early age. And we want families
to... Don't think of that necessarily.
Really, that's true. And in Hampton, we're very fortunate to have a lot of free services. And we have families that from outside the community want to come in and participate in these programs because their communities might not be offering them. And we hope that our families not only will participate in our programs, but also stay here and then support the economy as a job and a homeowner and things like that.
And you work with military too. I know sometimes the military has resources that's available to families, but we have so many military families in Hampton.
Yes, we do work with the new parent support programs at Fort Eustis and Langley, and we've partnered with them for years on Welcome Baby and some other programs. And a lot of them come off base and take classes with us because they do live in our community. And many of them sometimes feel more comfortable taking something off base, and to meet new friends and to kind of, expand their horizons here and what's available in Hampton. So we welcome all of them.
That's great. And so, Allison, these programs are open mostly, though, to Hampton residents. Is that true, or you have some that can...
Yes, they're open to Hampton residents. Our Healthy Start program is strictly for Hampton families because of the intensive nature.
And the funding, right? That's inexpensive.
Our parenting classes, anyone can take them. However, there is a cost if you're a non-Hampton resident. The same with playgroup. If you're non-Hampton, you do have to pay us a very nominal fee. I think it's $1 or $2 per session. And then Mayor's Book Club, we are also partnering with the City of Newport News, and they're offering that in this Newport News school system.
That's been a big expansion. That's great.
So there are quite a few programs that cross over, and many other communities here in Hampton, and even across the water in Norfolk and Virginia Beach, have also taken up some of these programs as well.
Well, that's wonderful. And thank you for coming and sharing. And I know a lot of our audience out there may not have small children, but you may know someone who does. And if they're getting overwhelmed or don't have a lot of resources, you can refer them to these programs and maybe help out some of your neighbors as well. Thank you for coming, Allison. This has been great. Why don't you tell us how we can get more information about your programs?
Okay. You can always call our front desk at 727-1300. And they'll be able to provide information, and you can also visit the website,
which is
www.hampton.gov/YEF.
And YEF, if it helps you to remember, it stands for Youth Education and Families.
Yes.
And of course, people can also call 311.
Yes.
That's great. Okay, thank you, Allison, for coming by.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching this episode of Round Robin.